AI was denying 90% of the cases.
What was the prompt, KaiR?
Deny. That was the prompt.
Oh,
Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO who got popped in his back, Midtown Manhattan. It's crazy to think about it. A hit job right in the New York streets. Of course, there have been a lot of wild theories out there. But what else, what better to have someone who's been on the other side to give you a theory that maybe it can give you a where it's probably heading to. We have had him, we've covered some videos of him in the past as well. And this time he is giving his, well, let's say his take on what has happened. We're talking about Agent Tom Simon, who's a former FBI special agent, and he's now currently a Florida licensed private investigator, and he has some theories about what happened. And we're gonna check it out. Fair use.
Current events may overtake this video. I want to give you my 3 theories about the New York City assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. For those of you new to my feed, my name is Tom Simon. I'm a Florida licensed private investigator and retired FBI special agent where I served for 26 years. Please consider following my feed for daily true crime content. By way of background, the 50-year-old CEO of United Healthcare was shot from behind 3 times at 6:44 a.m. Wednesday morning while he was walking down the sidewalk from his hotel to the New York Hilton for an investors conference. The killer was calm, cool, and collected. Anyway, let's get to my theories about who might have done this. Theory 1 is that the assassin was pissed off about healthcare. United Healthcare insures 50 million Americans, all of whom should be considered as suspects because the only thing they have in common is an undying hate for United Healthcare. After all, this is a company that recently got caught using AI to deny claims. Bolstering this theory is the news that the shooter apparently engraved or wrote the words deny, depose, and defend on the 9mm shell casings found at the scene. Those words are a mantra in the legal departments of health insurers, indicating that they will deny claims, conduct depositions in civil litigation, and defend themselves in court. All of this is to deny your healthcare claim. Now, the problem with this theory is that it doesn't account for the assassin's apparent intel about Brian's location and movement. He's going to a meeting at the Hilton, which is a perfectly nice place to stay. Most people would just assume that Brian would actually be staying at the Hilton.
Before we continue, what do you think about the first one?
that's the first thought that came to mind, actually. Someone that wasn't happy, someone that got a rejection, maybe someone who lost a family member, or maybe suffered permanent damage due to the practices mentioned in that the video by the PI, and that person went on a revenge, took revenge, or maybe hired someone, a hitman, to do the job for him. That was actually the first thought that came to mind.
That is not far-fetched, because fair use. I'm gonna show this video right here.
On something as I have over the last 24 hours in the comment sections on these news articles about the United Healthcare CEO.
If you think that I didn't need anesthesia to have surgery, you're insane.
I'm having a hard time being empathetic to the situation whatsoever, because this is a billion-dollar company, okay, that denies access to people every single day.
And we're fighting with the insurance company over her dialysis to keep her alive.
Having said that, I think that there was something really instructive in seeing how almost gleeful people are about this horrible event. And the truth of the matter is what it tells me is something that we all already know, that Americans have just had it. We have had it.
So it seems like people are like you said, and like he said, that's a part of the whole dynamic that's been created between people that are insured and when the coverage is denied or not. Apparently, and this is a thing that came out, they are using, like he said, AI to judge these cases. The AI was denying 90% of the cases.
What was the prompt, KaiR?
Deny. That was the prompt.
What was the prompt, KaiR?
The easy prompt.
Yeah.
Deny everything. Let 90% not get through anyway. But yeah, so that's a theory that's not that far-fetched. But at the same time, like you said, you have another aspect where the person knew he wasn't staying at the place where the conference was held. Let's continue to listen to these theories.
And not across the street. This foreknowledge of Brian's location and movement argues that it might have been an inside job. My theory number 2 is a disgruntled ex-employee with an axe to grind against the company. That might explain why the killer was able to have intel about Brian's whereabouts and his pattern of activity to anticipate where he would be. Let's also lump in someone with a personal relationship with Brian into the mix as a subset of that theory. Theory number 3 is the most elaborate one, but it can't.
What do you think about theory number 2?
Theory number 2 would definitely explain how they knew where he was and when he would be there and where he was going. Because the other option is pure coincidence. For example, that the person working at the hotel where he was staying and who had his reservation knew about it and thought, okay, this is a coincidence because my mom, went through a horrible thing like a year ago, or my friend or whatever, and then said, okay, this is the opportunity, now or never. Dude came in, hi, how are you, sir? Oh, what are you here for? Okay, is it here? Oh, it's at an Hilton. Oh, when are you going? Oh, you're leaving early. That would be the other option, right? That's very coincidental. So it makes more sense that it was someone who knew him personally, or at least had access to his whereabouts and or movement.
Yes. Let's go to number 3.
Can't be counted out, but it requires a little bit of background. In February this year, Brian and 3 of his top lieutenants at United Healthcare sold $100 million in United Healthcare stock. Now, Brian's share of that was $15 million, and it was the first time he dumped shares since he was a CEO. Why would they do that? Brian and his team had been notified that United Healthcare was under investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice Antitrust Division for non-competitive monopolistic practices. But this investigation was not known to the public at the time that Brian and the others dumped their shares. 2 weeks later, the investigation went public and United Healthcare stock took a dive. This didn't impact Brian and his friends so much because they had just dumped $100 million of their shares back when it was riding high. This is what we call insider trading, and the FBI opened a criminal investigation of Brian and his 3 colleagues. This is something I have some familiarity with, and it's entirely possible that Brian decided to cooperate with the FBI to save his own hide. If so, could that have created a motivation for one of his co-conspirators to have Brian killed to ensure his silence? I recognize that it sounds like a John Grisham novel, but it can't be discounted entirely. And those are my 3 theories.
Or one of the other shareholders. Not necessarily.
We talked about do you remember the very first story we covered ever?
I was about to say, yeah. The dude the man who could fly. Was it Bat and Beyond, right?
Bad Bath and Beyond. Yeah, it was
Bad and Beyond CEO,
financial man.
or financial, yeah.
Was it from
He
CFO?
CFO, yeah, okay.
I think it was the CFO, where basically it seems like a pump and dump scheme that happened, and yeah, he jumped off the ledge after that one.